believe, as do the other folks that were on the flight, that when we visually saw it, that it was something not from this world.
Goof On Radio.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top, oh yeah.
Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Goof On Radio.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
You're listening to Goof On Radio with Rich Giordano.
All right. Welcome to Goof On Radio Stream. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. Yes, we are live Thursday night, January 10th, 2019. Didn't even think about saying 2018 tonight. I'm already into the new year, and we're doing Thursday guest night tonight with Mike Brown. He'll be joining us here in a few moments. I'm excited. Yeah, we're starting to get a guest every Thursday now. I say we, but I mean me. And just to mix it up and get a little bit of personality back into the show. You know, I think things were starting to get a little bit repetitive. And you know me, always like to do something new and exciting and different and all that stuff. Because ufology does not have a lot of variety. I mean, there is a lot of variety, don't get me wrong. Maybe I should rephrase that. The variety gets repetitive because not a lot of breaking news every day, right? So, kind of why I wanted to start having guests again. Because listening to me can get boring and old, and I know it. So, I'm going to bring a lot of excitement each Thursday and Sunday, of course. But Thursday with the guests, I mean, nothing better than getting the real experiences from people all over the world, not just here in the U.S., because as you know, these sightings are happening everywhere. Everywhere. The most unpopulated places on the planet to the most congested, like New York, Japan, China, Brazil. This stuff is, I don't know if it is really speeding up or accelerating, but we're getting these videos from regular everyday people like we used to 10, 12, 13, 15, 20 years ago. And I know you think it's, it's always been happening. It has. But now with about 6 to 7 billion cameras, we're bound to catch the real thing, you know? And kind of why I wanted to have Mike on. Well, it is why I wanted to have him on, I should say, because he caught something that he says is a real, genuine UFO. I looked at it. Some other people looked at it. As a matter of fact, he's been on other shows talking about it, giving the link, I'm sure. People have been getting familiar with this video, and it seems kind of split on what it is. So Mike is going to join us here right now and explain this entire video to us. It's real short, but I want to welcome Mike Brown to the show. Mike, how are you? Thanks for coming to Goof On Radio.
I'm all right, and thank you for having me, Richard.
Yeah, you know, you and I have been communicating a little bit here and there on the Facebook Messenger. You know, you said you had this evidence, and I'm always skeptical. I'm not a debunker, but I can debunk. But you said, I've got this stuff, man. You got to see it. Got to have me on. And I heard you on Spaced Out Radio. Great interview, by the way. And I was surprised how much stuff you actually talked about. So this is more than just a 23-second video. And I'd like it to explain to me. First, we'll go over that. And I'm going to play for everybody the video in a few moments. But explain to us the video that we're going to be talking about.
All right, you're going to see a UFO in the lower right-hand corner. And this UFO was recorded in August of 2014 in Grand Rapids, Michigan, about 10:03 at night on the 6th. And it's silent, and it has been taken into CIA through an Air Force captain retired. And after a couple weeks, the CIA determined a lot of things. It's 1,500 feet up, so what you're going to be looking at is a real UFO with a beam of light that is measured at 8 feet wide. So this whole thing is in the footprint of a city block, and the beam of light is refracting. And now that means it's changing direction while it moves through air, water, or glass. And the beam of light is also acting like a whirlpool. So there's a lot of data that CIA had, and it matches up with a trigonometry scientist who also knew the height at 1,500 feet for empirical data. And there's a jet in the background, and the two crossed paths and missed each other by who knows what. But you're going to hear the rumble of the jet engine, and you won't really see the jet, but MUFON can see the jet with their computers, and they called the jet a satellite. But MUFON is now rechecking this out this very moment. So in about a month, it'll all come back, and they're gonna find it's a UFO.
Is this the 23-second YouTube clip?
That is, yeah.
Because
23 seconds sometimes, yeah, 24.
Yeah, well, yeah, depending on where you load it up. But it's really interesting, the things you just said, because there's a couple of things I didn't even know. A jet in the background? I mean, I don't see it. And
no, you won't. Yeah, no.
No. So what do? Is this something I could do and enlighten the contrast and less the saturation on my Adobe, or is that something that it's visible, but I just don't see it?
Yeah, I've never really focused on it. I imagine with filters you can, but MUFON surely can, and that's in my ebook Mock UFO by Amazon Kindle, and it's a chart that MUFON had, and they can see the jet, but the jet is obviously outbound, but they drew it as inbound just to match trajectory of a satellite, and but that's wrong. But the trigonometry scientist can see the jet. He knows all these things, so. Yeah, you can do it. I don't know. You gotta use computers. So
far, you're saying things that I have yet to hear from anybody else, just casually catching a UFO. The CIA? I don't understand. How do you got involved with them? How'd that happen?
Well, it was easy. I was in Florida, and I knew this girl. And she had over an Air Force captain. And I just showed my video to him, and he said, that's a UFO. He said, that's a segmented tractor beam that's curving. I said, really? He said, yup, in plasma segmented tractor beam. I'm like, okay. He walked away, and he came back about half a minute later and said, that's a UFO. He said, can I take that into my buddy in CIA? I said, yeah. 2 weeks later, he returned, and he had taken it into Wright Field. That's near Dayton, Ohio. And he said, Mike, they had all these data points. He said they checked that beam of light for wood or steel, and it is neither. It is a light. And he said that the beam of light was acting like a whirlpool. And I said, you mean like a tornado, like an eddy? He said, no, like a whirlpool. And he came up with all his fantastic data. He said the CIA said to him to tell Mike, don't worry. We don't have any stadium lights that big in America.
You caught this in Michigan.
And I did catch that in Michigan. Grand Rapids, right on the northern edge of Grand Rapids. Anything north of that point literally turns into wilderness. Anything south of that point becomes the city. And it just runs into the Midwest and all the big cities. Indianapolis is way down there. But anything north of that point It's like a one gas station town. Yeah, this is right on the edge of wilderness.
You were the only one that saw it live.
As far as I know.
Yeah.
As far as I know. I mean, it looks like a helicopter on the distance, or a jet, or it even looks like Venus from the unaided eye. It can even look like a star. It can look like a firework or a drone. And so a lot of people could have seen it and written it off, but it's so bright. I characterize it as bright as a quasar, because it really hurts your eyes to look at it. So it's repulsive. So you're just going to glance and just go, yeah, something's there, whatever. But you know, I don't know if anybody else reported it, but I have it on video, and it was right overhead. And there's aliens on board thanks to the filtering, and everybody can see these aliens. And there's a giant bird like an eagle. You can see primary wing feathers, the beak, the eye, talons to the point. And as for the alien, you can see its eye. You can see the black part of its eye, the pupil. You can see the colored part, the iris. You can see the white part, the cornea, on either side. You can see his nose, his ears, his shoulder, and he's holding in his right hand like a tablet. And I imagine it's about 4 foot tall by 2 foot wide tablet. And the giant, I say, is 12 foot because of the beam at 8 feet wide. And the CIA said that beam is expanding to over 30 feet before it leaves the screen.
The one that goes like the 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock position? Or the one next to it that goes more 11:30 to 5:30?
The beam of light will be, if the UFO was a dial, it would be at around the 5 o'clock position, descending down, and it's kind of a brownish beige beam in real life. And the whole UFO is a blinding bright white light. You can see nothing, but through filters of hue, contrast, just add anything, vintage, whatever, and yeah, you start to bring out these other images.
What made you want to videotape it though? Was the brightness of it, or I don't?
No. Well, when I stepped out, I looked to my left, basically to my southeast, the rising sun side, and I saw a jet coming in from the airport coming in. I thought, okay, and then I looked to my right, over near the west, southwest, more or less west, and I saw something low on the horizon, like a little firework coming across the horizon, headed right toward me. And I thought, this is strange. And then it seemed to almost pause in midair. And I'm thinking, is it a jet? But wait a minute, it's pausing. It might be a helicopter. What is this? You know, this is only a month after 4th of July, so I'm thinking, oh man, this is a firework. I don't know what this is, but I'm gonna go get my phone just in case. And I waited for it to come in. And as it approached, I could not see it on my phone screen on the flat part because it would not register. And I'm panicking to find record with video, with photos. I couldn't get anything. The only thing that showed was just this little video of all that tapping. But I could not see it on my phone screen, so the only way I caught it is I had to aim at the mercury light, which is attached to a steel building about 25 feet off the ground, and I waited for this object, this UFO, to pass right past the mercury light. And I didn't really know where the camera eye was, so I was just bobbing the camera around, just trying to catch something. And when it was going over, I was concerned that I'm filming a firework or something, but, you know, I had to catch it, you know, because you never know. And it was silent, absolutely dead silent. So that's how I really filmed that. And then I stopped filming. I panned down the screen. That's why it looks like the UFO launches. But I was panning down to the ground because I didn't think I had anything. It hadn't showed on the screen. All that showed was the blink of the FAA light, the Federal Aviation Administration light on the jet. I could see that little pin of light just blinking on an angle from right to left on the screen as it was going northbound, this jet, northwest like. But so I filmed the UFO that way, and I checked it out about a week later. I got the courage to go check my phone, so I didn't want to erase anything, and I was kind of disappointed. It was just a little pin of light, and I thought that was maybe the security light bouncing around. Paused it, zoomed in, and I said, "Now that's that thing that went over." And after a while, I just threw filters on it and started getting all kinds of things, aliens, several aliens on there. Yeah.
Well, I'm more, as you're explaining it, I'm showing the audience at the same time, and I paused it.
Yeah, and
Oh, go ahead, man.
Well, in the lower left, you're going to see the security light. And in the right side, you're going to see the UFO. So when I panned down, the UFO was sort of centered to the screen, and it was also in the top left of the screen, but as blurs. But the UFO was bouncing around pretty clear in the lower right. But the lower left, if you pause it, you will see a little light, and that's the security light, and you can even see like kind of like a sideways L. That is the roof line edge in the corner, the outside corner of that steel building, which separates the UFO from the security light. Now, it's not a street light because there's a street, but it's 70 yards away. So this could never light up a street if you tried. I appreciate street light. It does look like a street light, but that's the UFO's trick. But they're both in the same frame.
What do you mean trick?
And maybe the jet is.
Sorry, what do you mean trick? You said that's the UFO's trick, or is that just a figure of speech?
That is. It's just, that's part of its camouflage to me, because you see, if I just turn in this video, everybody would go, oh, well, that's a street light, or that's a security light. But see, there's so much data on it that it's not a street light or a security light. I mean, the CIA isn't fooled. Trigonometry scientists isn't fooled. I'm not fooled. I mean, the angle of the phone, the degree angle, shows that this was way up in the sky. This is 1,500 feet up. And there's no security light and street light doing that. You know my GPS by a square meter, so they know right where I am, what buildings are around me. They're not fooled.
Would you believe me if I told you I'm probably more credible with UFOs than a CIA agent? Would that surprise you?
No, I'd appreciate that right now.
Now, I haven't done the filters on it yet because I don't think I needed to, but I want to know one thing. And the only reason I brought up my experience that, because I have 15,000 hours looking at these lights in the sky, and that's without even sky watching for the last 3.5, 4 years continuously. I put so much time into it, so many different cameras. It's just an amount of data that I don't know anybody else other than a few people probably on the planet that have what I have. And I know a lot of different cameras and the way they work, glass compared to plastic lenses, the way the housing is designed, the features. What kind of camera were you using?
I was using the cheapest
camera phone,
Verizon.
Right? Sorry.
Yeah, the cheapest phone Verizon had, and I just purchased it, I don't know, maybe a few weeks prior. It's called an Android Optimus.
What year was this?
2014.
I thought you said, and I don't know if I'm confusing your interview with Dave. Did you say it was a flip phone?
That's another thing. That would be in the that'd be in the comment thread.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I believe that was by B.
Flip phone. So the megapixels on this camera, I think at that time were between 3 and 5 or 6. Do you remember?
I didn't really pursue that information on it, but it can all be located.
Because I think those phones actually had it printed on the back of the flip phone. It's something, I don't know if you'd see it all the time, but when your phone's open, you're not looking at it, so it would make sense if you didn't remember. Yeah, because I'm just trying to figure out at night, as the distance it is from you, and the size of the object, and you're saying that the one on the bottom left, and I'm showing the audience here, that's the street light. And Security light, thank you. And the UFO's top right. Now, yes, there are different illuminations and different lens flare effects that are coming off the one on the top right to the bottom. But that, and I was trying to say, well, maybe it looks like on the bottom right, on the security light on the bottom left, is that a building it's coming out from behind? There's a building in front of it? Is that why it looks blocked out right there?
The scene is a building that is about 30 feet tall. It is a steel building with rigid siding for strength, and there is fixed on it a mercury light on the left, and it's about the size of a medicine ball. And yeah, you'll see the roof line edge, the west-facing roof. Then you will see the southwest downward corner, the outside corner, making that kind of L. And on the right, basic lower right, you'll see the whole UFO.
It's for us, because we weren't there, so you definitely want to believe. Could it be you didn't catch a UFO and it was maybe just another street light? Because the odds of that security curve, that white line, that slanted L, that matches up almost identically with the UFO's white slanted L. But the UFO has this little stream coming off of it. Maybe, I don't know if it was moving, that's right. You actually moved the camera, and you moved it kind of quickly at the end. So that's why it has the streak in it. So it wasn't moving. But it kind of looks like I would have to say like a Big Mac on its side. To me, it looks like the bun on the top, the meat in the middle, and maybe the bun on the bottom with some stuff inside, maybe onions. But that's when I see that, it reminds me of a Big Mac. It's just bizarre because the odds, Mike, that the white light on both of these look exactly the same size to me. And I took a ruler to it just to see, and they're almost perfectly the same size. That's kind of odd. That's why I'm wondering. But the weird thing about this is that when I go to, I'm going to pull it up to the 14-second mark, and I wish you had the other light in it. And that's why I'm skeptical on what you may have captured. Maybe you can change my mind. That's why you're here. You caught something. You saw it moving, right? You saw it moving. You saw it far away. It looked like a helicopter, maybe. Could have been Venus. But what are these little... Where do we find... How do we find the aliens on this craft, too? Unless you want to comment about my light, because you were about to say something.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions. One is the L, I say, is the building. The L is the building. It's a sideways upside down L. That's the building, roof, and then the outside corner. You can say that the sun and the moon are the same size, but it's a matter of perspective. That's why you get an eclipse.
I know, but we're talking about, UFOs.
The CIA tested that beam of light for wood or steel. Now, if you look at the security light, that background beam is on a building, so it will show up as what? Steel. So, all right, the security light is not moving, correct? It's fixed to the building. But what is moving is the UFO. The jet is moving. MUFON can see the jet and track it for several seconds. Now, the UFO is also tracking, but you can't really tell just by watching the video, but all this can be determined. So, yeah, again, if you pause the video correctly and look at the UFO, and if you take a look at my photograph in 2016 in the same area of that very security light, which was then changed into a smaller security light, nonetheless, it's the same side of the building, they look almost 98% alike. Okay, so the beam is brown and the building is painted brown. So they're both going to have a brown beam of light. There's the chatter, the light, dark light of the corrugated steel siding. When the light shines across it, it makes these valleys of light and dark. That is the nose of the UFO, which may be bending of space-time. Mm-hmm. There's angles that are inside angles. There are right angles on the UFO. They're mimicked exactly with the security light. So where do you see the aliens? The alien is, and you got to remember, this is a bright white light, so it's kind of like staring into a headlight and trying to see a bug on the headlight. It's gonna be difficult, but through filters, you'll see that moth. How do you see this alien?
Oh, hold on a sec.
You use filters.
Yeah, hold on one sec. You made a comment about the moon and the sun. Everybody would agree that the odds of the moon and the sun being the same size because of perspective. It's so astronomical and just the odds are crazy that would even line up the way they do. That's why we have eclipses. So when you're talking about UFOs and a light here, security light, I would have to say would have to be the same kind of odds. I mean, what are the odds? What makes more sense to me is the most logical thing. What is that, Occam's razor? I don't know the saying. But if it doesn't make sense, you have to go to what makes sense. Maybe you captured two security lights or something. I'm just saying, because when these swipes that are from you moving your camera, that's why you have the streakiness. Then if we go to the 14-second mark, hold on, let me get there.
Yeah, Occam's pretty much means that your first conclusion is pretty much the right one.
Is that what it is? Yeah, I thought it was the most logical, something like that. You're probably right, though. See, but this is why. Don't get mad, okay? I have to do this because it's what I do. Now, as far as me thinking, what if this guy has some agenda just to see if he can get away with something? Because I think about this with everybody, not just you. So I think, what would they do with their camera? What would I do if I didn't want people to see the other light? I would move my camera really quick, which is what you did at the right time. You moved it, so it's very hard to line up the security camera with this UFO light. Very difficult. There's not much to go by because the things you're saying aren't presented tonight. I don't know if you have the enhanced version from the CIA or, anything edited or, whatever. I don't know if you have that. I'd like to see it and maybe have you back. But if you can get that, it would be great because I want to see the aliens. I want to see the airplane in the background or whatever else was flying out there. And I want to see the building and I want to see the steel. I want to see the aliens. A lot of major claims being made without seeing it. So you have to understand where I'm coming from as a skeptical viewer, an investigator, a researcher. What's going on with this video? So that's what I'm going by. And when I hear the story, they kind of don't match. You know what I mean? They do, but they don't. There's a lot of holes because the video is so darn short. And I don't know if I can fault you for that because you're not a UFO researcher. But when I'm at this point here, at the 14-second mark, I see something you don't see. You see no swiping, no blurring, no streaking. This looks interesting, but I also see normalities in the way, I guess you would call it, a beam coming out of the craft or the light that's going from 1 o'clock to 7 o'clock. And then you have these little rectangles, these vertical, I don't know what they are, windows. Maybe they're just part of the housing for the light source. So you understand where I'm coming from? Because I have to think that way. What is going on with this that he sees and we don't see? And I have to think with the perfect timing of moving that, which I don't understand why this isn't longer. If you saw a UFO, why wouldn't you hang out and look at it for as long as you possibly could? Were you in a rush to go somewhere? I have to know.
The beam of light is actually at the 5 o'clock position going down.
Yeah. I was talking about the other one too, the one going the other way, the white one. But why is the video so darn short? If you were seeing a UFO, why didn't you hang out?
Well, like I said, I didn't think it was recording. It wasn't registering on my screen, and so I thought it was more important.
That makes sense.
I thought it was more important just to enjoy it by eye because I was doing a lot of distraction, and I just watched it sail over. And
see what I mean? That makes me skeptical because you're pushing hard to get on shows. You know what I mean?
Mm-mm.
You weren't pushing to try to get on my show and Dave's show. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm not. I'm just questioning what I'm seeing. And you had MUFON look at it. The CIA's looked at it. But I don't see any of their evidence anywhere. Is there anywhere we could find that?
Well, MUFON is checking it out again because they got it all wrong. It's not a street light by their word. They call it a street lamp as well, too.
Oh, that's where I got it from. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's all right because they're now checking it out. I've spoken with Jan Harzan himself several times, even on the phone. Cool. And he's going to give me a whole new ruling on it. And so that'll be out, let's say, in about a month. Don't you worry. CIA has checked this thing out. When the CIA says that they have, certain things about it, I can believe it. And the trigonometry scientist, he even said to me a long time ago, he said, how high up was this UFO? And I said, about 1,000 feet. He said, how high did CIA say? And I said, they said 1,500. And he said, they were closer. So see, he knew the measurements. So you're not going to find it as a 1,500-foot up streetlight.
How do you get the measurements from this video? There's no reference.
Oh, there probably is. He used trigonometry. What did the CIA use? A lot of things. You have where my phone was. Tells you GPS. You can tell where the mercury light is. Okay, so you can look at any blueprint. Then
what? I don't understand.
There's also black box data on the jet that was going through. There's also the UFO itself. So there's many points of reference they probably all threw together.
For a video that lacks a lot of the detail, you seem to have gotten the best in the business to look at something that I don't know if it's a UFO. But yet they seem to be able to crack the code and see things that I can't see. And I have to tell you, I've been doing this a long time, talked to a lot of people. I don't have a degree in psychology, but a lot of years with psychology and 3 years of college in criminal psychology. So I know personalities, I know people real well. And I understand what you're saying, but do you understand what I'm saying too? Do you see why I'm so skeptical about this thing? And I'm not trying to rip it apart. I'm trying to figure it out because this is a big claim. You're talking about aliens in this thing. So I have to dig in. If you have that, this is huge. You know what I mean? So I'm really trying maybe aliens. If we can see aliens in this thing, that's the what do they call it? That's like the biggest thing you can get. I mean, there's nothing better than getting aliens on video.
You would think, yeah. But the ebook called Mock UFO has all of it, even the alien. And the alien is standing near center of the UFO. Near center, but a little off center, a little to the right. And at his feet is the eagle. It's about a 2.5-foot tall eagle.
Where can I find?
Everybody can see.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt. I had to. Where can I find this? Where can I go? What point on the video can I go just to see if I can see it?
Well, when the UFO is in frame,
okay,
hit pause.
All right.
Take a screenshot.
I got it.
And then expand the image, and it's bright, bright, bright. But if you use filters like hue, brightness, not too much brightness, not too little, you have to use several filters. I've gone through like 4 phones, different apps for that.
Wait a minute. Are you talking about the little alien right underneath the white beam?
No, my alien is near center of the parallelogram, which is basically the diamond. The main body of the ship is like a square.
Okay. Well, I'll have to blow it up. I have it on a big screen. I have it on a 50-inch here, and I still don't see it. But I may have to do a little more detail. You're
going to have to do an incredible amounts of screenshot.
Is it in the beam?
No.
Okay.
The beam is some kind of a laser. It may even be ripping a hole in the space-time continuum itself and giving them time travel.
Who said that was a beam? Was that the CIA people?
The CIA characterized it as a light. It is a light.
It could just be that, and this is what I'm thinking it might be, and I could be 100% wrong. I know I could be wrong, but I've seen this dual beams before in many of my videos, which you have possible light source and then the other one is reflecting off the backside, or maybe the lid to aim the light towards the ground, and that's why we're getting that effect. It's reflecting off the backside. So I'm not sure, but you didn't see it with your naked eye, this beam at all, right?
Yes, I did. I could distinguish it was brown. I called it a lightsaber in the early days. I could see only like a few points of light. I could see the left, which is at the 7 o'clock going down, that spire light. I could see that. And I call those kind of like spires, kind of like icicles. I could see the one at the 1 o'clock position, that spire of light. I could see the front nose barely, jetting out barely. But I could see a little bit of the brown beam, and I imagine I could only see about 30 feet worth of it. But it was very hard to focus. My eyes were watering. I had to blink. They were stinging. This thing was very difficult to I didn't enjoy looking at it.
Was it cloudy or clear that night, if you remember?
Oh, it was clear. I mean, yeah, Grand Rapids is a very cloudy place, but it's very clear that night.
And what else was on? You said there were, and I want to see these aliens. I'm going to, after this show is over, that's the first thing I'm doing. I had no idea what I was getting into on this.
Yeah. No, I sort of did a lot of the homework where if you go to Mock UFO from Amazon Kindle, you'll get all the aliens. I show you how it emerges.
Well, why don't I go there now? I can do that.
Yeah. I made it affordable at $1.99.
Oh, that's
everybody.
right. I was hoping you would just have it for me. All right. Well, I'm not going to buy it right now, make an account on Amazon, but this is, there was something else you said that I wanted to ask you. What was that you said about black box, about the airplane in the background?
Yeah, I believe that would give you, kind of like the transponder, right, give you the location of the jet. You know, if you were privy to that information, so you would have that as another point of reference from, say, the GPS zone of where I was standing.
What time did you see this?
This is 10:03 at night, but I probably saw it at like 9:58 p.m. on the horizon.
So after you got the phone out and didn't think you were taping it, how much longer did you watch it?
I watched it until it disappeared over the roofline edge, and that took like another 2 minutes. And then it was just tracking on a northeast, that's the rising sun side basically, and it was just tracking. It was only going about, I'm really wrong on the speed. It's very difficult to tell. I think it was going somewhere between 25 and 50 miles an hour. I'd put it around 40.
Why couldn't the CIA figure out the speed of this thing then? If they can get
I'm not saying
height
they
didn't. Oh, okay. I thought you might have brought that up.
No,
so
they have a lot of points.
Okay. Did they say how fast it was going?
What's that?
Did they say how fast it was going?
Not to me.
So we don't know. Okay.
No, but I know that people have a very difficult time of judging the size of UFOs, and I'm pretty grateful that I know that that's an 8-foot wide beam. And from that, you can incrementally measure that thing. It's like 250 tall. It's in the footprint of a city block, this whole thing. That's not a security or street light at that rate.
Interesting. So wait, now, was this Walmart, you said?
No, it's across the street from Walmart.
So this security light is across the street, because I'm sure I could actually, if I could do my research correctly, find out the make and model of this street lamp, if I could find out where you were standing by the GPS coordinates. You don't have those, though, I guess.
I do have the GPS.
No way, really?
MUFON even has them.
Oh,
yeah, MUFON has them on the chart page.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of Mock UFO.
All right, so maybe I'll do a little research and find out if I can find out what was there. Did you wind up doing any of that to see what kind of security cameras were there, or the CIA by chance, or no, not really?
Yeah, I went and I talked to Walmart. I fought for months, but they had this thing like, after 3 months they erased their tapes, and then I had to call Bentonville And they're like, oh, after 6 months or something, we get rid. It's like, well, come on, man. They had to have had something, but it doesn't really matter because there's a military-grade radar in Coopersville that probably caught this, and that's only like 25 miles to the west. And that radar installation is a significant one. That can take up for the whole region, should like the Grand Rapids International Airport, the Gerald R. Ford Airport, if that goes down, this can pick up. This Coopersville radar can take over. It can even help out with Chicago's problem. And this thing, it had to have had this UFO. And the trigonometry scientist, he said that that radar was functioning and working because his story is, I had a rocket drone. But see, he's talking about what happened an hour after the UFO. See, when I summoned the police, they were there, and I told them I got a UFO going over, and we looked up in the stars, and I said, look at right there. And it was a jet going by. I go, oh, wait, it's a jet. I go, oh, wait, look right there. And me and the officer watched this point of light going out into space, and then wham, it was gone. We both go, whoa. He said, I never saw nothing like that before. The other officer steps out and goes, what was that? I said, it was another UFO. Now, the officer said, and I said it was like 90,000 feet, and he automatically chimed in and goes, no, it was more like 17,000 feet. Now, the trigonometry scientist said, what we saw was a rocket drone, but like I said, he's talking about a whole different time. He's making up a story. He said it was built by a 10-year-old out by the lakeshore, launched from Coopersville. He said, what we're seeing is this, and remember, he's really wrong on his time. He said what it was a rocket drone, rocket strapped to a drone, and what we saw was it going up to the 9,000-foot level. That was all caught on Coopersville radar, he said. And he said it ran out of fuel, and it fell to 6,000 feet before it deployed chute. Now, he can get that thing like he's claiming on radar, but he could be making up a story. We could have been watching this UFO circle back and then go up and hit a wormhole or go into the belly of the mothership or something. The top said it was at 19, 18, 20,000 feet up. Hey, that's like double of what this trigonometry scientist came up with. And so, I can't really say that trigonometry scientist is right, but he had a lot of fantastic stories.
I don't see how they could find out how high it was without any reference points. I just find it impossible.
You mean the UFO back with the UFO
yeah,
CIA
the
at
UFO.
1500?
Yeah, I find it
I don't
impossible.
know, but it doesn't matter.
Sure it matters. Sure it matters.
Well, the trigonometry
Everything
scientist
matters.
said to me, I know it, but it doesn't matter to not believe it, because the trigonometry scientist said to me, he goes, how high up was the UFO? And I said 1,000 feet. Well, this was before I had a whole lot of data that I did have. This was my guess, 1,000 feet.
But even that, you can't tell at night. You just can't.
He said, how high up did the CIA say? And I said, they said 1,500. He said, they were closer. So see, how do you know they're closer? What? Because a trigonometry scientist had
I'll tell you why. A plane is a certain length. We usually know how long they are. Hot air balloon, we know how wide they are. A ball, balloon, we know how wide those are. This is a UFO you've never seen. You don't know how far it is. You can't hear it. There's no sound. There's no disturbance. You don't know if that's 3 miles wide, 1,000 miles away, or a quarter of a mile wide, 1,300 feet away. You don't know. You can't know. It's impossible without something in the back to reference it with. Believe me, I know. I've been doing this forever. Yeah, maybe you were.
I was close at 1,000 feet.
But I don't buy a trigonometry scientist who wasn't there. He wasn't there.
How about the CIA? They said it's an 8-foot wide beam.
How? How do they know? But what are they referencing it to? What are they basing that off of? You know what I mean? You have to have something to compare it to.
No, GPS-wise, within a square meter, you know where I'm standing. You know where, if you look at the blueprints, you know where the security light is.
All right.
So there you probably have definite line of feet. And from there, who knows? Maybe they can, with their computers, draw a line out. I think it's
I can do that too.
Software.
Yeah, I have that software. You have to have something in the background, like a building, a tree, a mountain.
I did have the building. That's the steel building by the general.
But I don't have it. I don't see it. I don't see it in
well,
the video.
Well, that is the L. That is the upside down L. That's the west side roofline edge, and that's a drip edge. And then the outside southwest corner goes down from the 12 o'clock position down to the basically to the 6. That would be what separates the UFO on the right from the security light on the far left.
Do you know what building that is? Did you find out?
Yeah.
What building is that?
Yes. Oh, it's gone through many changes, but that was only a storage, a storage facility. Now there's a flame. This UFO is dropping debris, and I've had somebody who was MIT. He worked at NASA. He was a quantum theorist. He said that's burning titanium, and basically, when you look at Mock UFO, the ebook, through filters, you can see the size of a football, a piece of this ash, and it's below the drip line edge. It's falling right where I stood. It's kind of grayish, and it's about 10 feet off the ground, heading down to the ground. And I had just arced and pivoted to catch it under the with the mercury light, to catch it over the mercury light, position myself under the mercury light. Well, I just slipped out of the way of this thing, but it's the size of a football. So you can see that plainly. And there's more ash falling off it. The laser is just pulverizing. It's ash and fire. Sometimes the alien looks like he's just burning flame, but he's calm as can be. He looks like he's surrounded in pure flames, and he's just as calm as you can get. But I think I've got enough of the alien through filter action that NASA could even tell you the pigment of the alien. That's how much homework I did.
This has to be one of the best UFOs I've ever heard of that I can't see anything. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a lot of aliens on it. A lot of aliens. There are some that look like they're at a control panel. I'm not going to joke with you.
What? In this video?
Well, I mean, the alien isn't running the ship by standing there. The alien is standing there holding a tablet. So I characterize
like the Anunnaki guy?
I characterize it all as Anunnaki. It's a giant.
Right.
12 foot tall. He looks like a human, and he's probably with Imdagud, the bird, the giant bird, otherwise known as Anzu. Mm-hmm. He is holding one tablet. That would be the Tablet of Destinies. It is a UFO. This is Earth. There's supposed to be a return. There's a lot of things that match up that it could be the Sumerian version of the Anunnaki.
And you can see him holding. You can see an alien in this video holding a tablet in the center of that beam. You're saying? It's not going to be as a video; it'll be as a paused image, as a photo, right? Well, if you go look at Mock UFO, I have done all that because I have over 66,000 screenshots. I'm probably the world record holder, 66,000 plus, just on this one phone. So you have to go through a lot of filters, a lot of pausing the video in the right spot. You have to focus in the right position. You have to zoom in and then zoom in more and don't over zoom. And then there's all kinds of things you have to do. And I got the alien so far and so much that you can see right up his nostrils because he's 1,500 feet up. Well, at 30 frames a second on a 20-second video, you're looking at 60,000 frames anyway. So you're probably right. You probably do have 60. You have 60,000 screenshots? Seriously, that's a lot.
No, over 66,000 just on my phone. Yeah, I have screenshots of that picture too. Well, yeah, it's a lot, but you're looking at the alien. You're looking at the alien, and you're going to get sore thumb and finger clicking and getting all the screenshots, but, you got to go through it. If you want the alien, you can't just take 10 screenshots and call it a day.
And you said we can find this where at Mock UFO on Amazon?
Yes, it's Mock UFO, M-O-C-K, UFO. And I call it Mock UFO for many things because it does mock a security light. Mach sounds like speed, but it wasn't going any faster than 30, 40 miles an hour. Mock UFO. Yeah, people mock it or whatever. I just call it Mock UFO. It's just a name. But if you got the book from Amazon Kindle, all that work is done where You can now take the bird into NASA, and they'll bring out the true plumage of it because the light is bright. The light is bright. And they'll bring out the true plumage. You can see the eye of the eagle. You can see the tail end to the point, tapers to a point, and that's 1,500 feet away. You're seeing a 2.5-foot tall eagle with a cheap Verizon phone. But it's true because it's so bright. You just diffuse the light down, you'll get it. But if it was dark, you know, everybody wishes, boy, I wish it wasn't so bright. Well, you're not going to probably get the detail.
So I brought it up on the UFO, Mock UFO Kindle edition here, and I'm looking at the screenshots. You have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, about 18 of them here, I guess, on the cover of it. And
yeah, that's right. I wanted to give people a good cover to start judging.
So that's cool, man. I see what you did here. So the one that's in the second row, top right, that looks like a figure in it. It's the tan one.
That's right. Is that the magenta one, kind of purple, kind of tan?
No, it's just tan.
Well, it's like a figure stand. He's kind of violet colored, right?
Oh,
Purple.
yeah, I guess so. It's hard to tell, but yeah, okay. Probably, yeah.
Well, see, that's the best I had of the alien at the time I made that cover. I didn't discover the alien truly, you know, with all the detail until around November of 2017, but I had to make that cover around October, and that's why I didn't even have really, I didn't even put the bird in there. Wouldn't that be great to have the bird on the cover? So all that was really missing. These were just what I had at the time.
I'm just looking at it now, up because I've got it on the big monitor here. So I'm just taking a look at some of these here. That's the building. Oh, I see.
There you go. Yeah. No, there you go. Yep.
Why don't we see? That's so bizarre that we don't even see a little bit of this. But yeah, it's bizarre. Now I see what you're saying. Okay.
And then go look at the light in 2016. I labeled it. 2016, the security light looks exactly like the UFO, almost like monkey to man. It's scary.
Oh, I see it.
You see that?
I'll have to do a little more.
All right. There you are. Good enough.
But I don't believe everything. Oh, so it's a lot to take in.
Well, yeah, you've only been looking at this for like 10 seconds now. Now you're getting down to the real beans.
All right, I'm going to leave this up here for people to look at in our audience because they were begging for me to just pay the friggin' $2. I'm like, well, let me go ahead. So now I want to move over a few squares to the one that's bluish purple. The aliens with the eyes and the mouth. That's intriguing.
Sure is.
You don't think it's...
Yeah, there's aliens that look like robots. Hey, there's even one that looks like Jabba the Hutt.
I believe it. I believe it.
No, there is.
No, I believe it.
That's in Mock UFO.
Yeah. No, this is wild.
There's some that look like they're skeletal. There's some that look like green aliens, like the grays and the greens. There's this Anunnaki-looking figure. There's a bird. There's other ones. They seem to be waving. Now, the alien is looking, point at me. The alien can see me. He is looking at me. You can tell when you see the alien, and I put the alien largely at the 50% mark of the book and finished it out with a lot of alien pictures, but he is looking at me without blinking.
Did you feel anything? Like, did you feel a connection or an urge to just look at us?
Yeah. When it was on the horizon, I almost thought like it was drifting almost too far north, and I wasn't going to get it. And I started to think, come on, you can trust me, come towards me. And it seemed to park, and then all of a sudden start moving toward me. I'm like, okay. And all of a sudden, I'm like, okay, that's good enough. And then it almost started to veer north again. I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm thinking, no, come on. And it started to come toward me. I'm like, holy cow. So this thing started rolling toward me, and as it started to go overhead, I started to get a little apprehensive. I thought this beam is going to hit me, or this thing's going to come crashing down on me, or it's going to park and land. I'm going to have to confront it. I was getting a little bit apprehensive. I got verklempt. And the reason I'm speaking in the video, such words as I don't have the resolution, or I said this is not good, it won't come in, is because I knew people would say, well, there was no audio working, that's why it's silent. But no, I was a little apprehensive, I got to admit. But as it flew over, I was like, all right, see ya, because I started to calm down again. It was a little freaky. I'm not gonna kid.
Is this the only UFO you've ever seen.
No, I saw one that was, well, I thought was the best, like back around 90. This is around the Belgium UFO outbreak time. I saw that about 1 mile south of this location when I was with several friends. That was the coolest, but the problem is that one didn't have aliens. That one didn't have video. And that was like a TR-3B. It was a triangle, and it was out of control, but it was flying with perfect lucidity. And I got it all, and I've never seen anything like it because the light configuration is not what I've ever seen. I'm going to keep my eyes open. That's described in the report from the National UFO Reporting Center I made around the mid-'90s on it, and it's also going to be located in one of my stealth ebooks. You're going to find it in particularly Making Stealth Drones, etc. Okay, Making Stealth Drones, etc. is the third volume in my stealth ebooks, and one of them is called Stealth Creation. It's the first, and the second one is called How Stealth is Made. And you're going to see that whole description of that UFO, and I also have the copyrights to the Phoenix Lights. Now, this was a long time ago.
I was going to ask you about that. What do you mean the copyrights? Oh, yeah, I live in Phoenix. I live here.
Oh, good. A copyright is any time you have like a thought on something, but if you want to make it golden, you take it to the Library of Congress Office of Copyrights in D.C. Well, way back in the mid-'80s, that's where the stealth copyrights were all formulated. I had all those, and that's why they're all figured out in like like 30 pages worth of that stuff, and nobody can get those in the correct line. But I, in 2013, decided to create the ebook for like a formatting. And so the FBI around that time said, take your stealth and make money on it. I said, make money? There's two of them. And two of these agents said, yeah, make money. That's what I do. I said, what do you mean? They said, why don't you format this in a way that the people can understand and that we can understand? So I began the long process of working with ebook companies that would just take my money and not do anything. They give me absolutely zero of what I ever wanted. Like, they give me their own story. I didn't even have my own story. Some of them wouldn't even upload it to Amazon, would just cut and run. So eventually I just got it simply uploaded at the library. A librarian did this in like 3 minutes, where I was on the phone with Amazon for 16 hours, 3 different days, and they couldn't navigate over the phone how to upload it. So there are the books. The Phoenix Lights copyright. It's there. I can't just say it. That's why I made the books. You understand those, and a lot of pictures explain, and there's a lot of pictures in there. So, yep, I had people go over them. I had a psychologist go over it. He spent 50 minutes without blinking looking at these, and he looked up at the end and said, "This is simple yet complex." That was his characterization.
I scrolled a bit further down on the Amazon where your book is here, the mock UFO, and I came across, finally, I guess this would be the alien with the bird in its lap sitting in a chair. Is that what I'm seeing?
Are you seeing an eagle bird?
Yes.
Okay, well, he's at the foot of the alien. The alien is standing.
Ah, okay, cool. Okay,
yeah,
I see now.
Yeah.
You could even see where the ankles would be if his feet are kind of weird. But, I mean, this is taken from, I don't know. I mean, you're
1,500 feet away.
Let's say it is. I wasn't there, but we'll go with it. And but when you break,
that's how high. That's how high, but it was also out maybe several hundred yards. And for some reason, that ash fell at my feet, so maybe the laser was jetting it outward, because the laser seemed to be coming outward toward me. But, the alien seems to be holding a tablet, Richard, if I could tell you. And there's 40-plus details on the tablet. So you're looking at 40-plus distinct details. Like, you know how long it took to understand hieroglyphics. Go ahead and look at the tablet, and in the first person to decipher it, okay, I'm sure we're going to want to know. Now, also, the Sumerians, they dealt with cuneiform writing because that's what the Anunnaki gave them. And yet now here you have a tablet. See, So again, that's their way. So this all kind of says Anunnaki, if I could just tell you.
You actually copyrighted your UFO pics and everything.
Oh, yes. When I was talking to Library of Congress, a lady on the phone, she said it looked like an angel. Now, they zipped this through. If you go look at all the dates, they marched this through so fast. You know, it can take you a long time, months and months, 9 months, maybe a year and a half. They marched this through fast.
Well, it is Grand Rapids, right? Not a huge city. Or is it? How many people live there?
Grand Rapids is a good-sized town. Grand Rapids is probably second only to Detroit.
Oh, wow. Okay.
If you look at the back, look at a left mitten. Okay, the thumb would be where Detroit is. Grand Rapids is right where the pinky connects to the hand.
Okay.
About 30 miles inland. It's across the lake from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
So we see these images, and I when you break something down and you spread out and enlarge something, you could really get a lot of pareidolia going on here. So I don't know. I mean, I admit I see the objects you talk about. There's no doubt about it. I see it, but I also see a bird in a cloud or a bear or a turkey. I see details like that if you look at clouds long enough. When you break apart and take each pixel out and enlarge it as much as you can find images of anything. Eventually, there's millions of pixels, and you can break this down. You have over 66,000, screenshots of whatever. But I have to know too. Have you had any dreams of these aliens, these actual ones you're seeing, before it happened?
Well, okay, pareidolia, that's like when you look at Mars images of the rocks, you think you see a turtle or something. So you're saying when you're looking at these images on the UFO, you can get a bird. Yeah, but the bird is perfect. You can see the primary wing feathers. You can see what's called the crop. That's where the throat would just take the fish, right? You can see the beak. You can see the eye of it. You can see the cornea on either side of the colored part of the eye. You can see the tail ends.
Oh, yeah, you can see the hair on the back of the neck. I know.
All right. Well, you see, or the feather work, right? Because you see I put this in Mock UFO around the midpoint of the book. I explained, but basically, days and days before this UFO was videoed, I was trying to picture what would pass for UFO in life. And that's when I was honestly looking at that mercury light, and looking at the shining of the light. And I'm thinking, if that was a UFO, but I'm thinking, how would anything be housed or live or quartered in these spires of light? It just didn't make sense. And yet, lo and behold, a couple weeks later, this thing cruises by. And then at 2016, when I stood out there and took a screenshot for GPS, because I could not locate it anywhere else. And I did not locate the GPS with MUFON until after that. But, I'm telling you that it did end up looking like it. So, no, I was imagining the UFO kind of daydreaming, like if it was blue, you would have it camouflaged against the blue sky. If it looked like a star field, it would be camouflaged at night, against the stars. It could just look like a star and just park. And then, wait for morning and disappear. It could have a blink of some kind of FAA light appearance, and just get away with looking like a plane. But, I thought of that. No, I had dreams where, I don't know, maybe around 1990, where I was in a structure in the back of our house. And it was just a normal structure. I recognized it. And all of a sudden, the blink of an eye, it changed, and I was like in this building that was probably 5 times as large, kind of like you were inside a giant football, kind of domish there, domish here. Bright light inside, you could barely see, and I felt the presence of probably 5 aliens, and then I woke up. But those are dreams, but this one's real. So, I mean, you might say, well, you might get pareidolia or whatever, you might see these images aren't there, but see, the CIA, the trigonometry scientists, they evaluated this is 1,500 feet up. So if you're getting weird images that are just to trick your eye, you're looking at that coming off of a UFO. So it doesn't matter. These are all visual characteristics of a UFO, no matter how you characterize it.
Okay. So I just realized something. I don't know how I missed it staring at all these. I guess everything's catching me off guard a little bit. But now I'm starting to get into getting used to looking at these. And I just noticed something where you say Mercury lights. I'm still looking at the mock UFO Kindle thing, the book. So I see the building and I see the light. You say Mercury light. And there's a light. That light that's glinting off of this building is the security camera, yes? Or a security thing.
Security light.
So what I'm seeing, so it's security light, yeah. So what I'm seeing is it's reflecting off of the metallic surface. I totally see what's going on here. Those lights,
that's called the rigid siding.
Yeah. Now I understand exactly what I'm looking at. That's very, very easily detectable now. Now I see it.
There you are. Mm-hmm.
But I see, okay.
Yeah.
I see that the security light, because you're using that security light as, see, this is what's confusing, because what I see reflecting off of that hard edge is what I see in the UFO.
That's right. That's why it's mock UFO as well. That's the way that it would get away with it, don't you see? Where if I turn this in, somebody go, oh, that's a security light. Let me show you. We've got 1 million in America. And I go, oh, yeah. You throw it away, and the alien gets away. It's just a little trick.
Wait, you're saying that now it all makes sense. So you're saying the mock UFO is imitating the security light, reflection and everything.
Yeah, I have some preposterous idea that the aliens, upon, being able to see you filming them, so when you look down at the ground, you look up, they're gone, because they can see your eyes. I think they're so sophisticated, they can see whatever camera work we had ever, and they can look at that photo and say, let's start building our ship to look like that. You see what I'm saying?
That's if your camera was even on. You didn't even know.
No. Anybody's camera in the world that ever took a picture, they can get the electromagnetic essence of it. They would go, oh, let's start making our UFO look like these photos, like these lights look like. And that's how we're going to escape.
That is someone's theory. I remember hearing that. I can't really. Yeah, I've heard it before. And Jaime Maussan is a Mexico UFO researcher / journalist who got into the ufology field in 1995 when there was this parade, and a military parade, and they saw these objects flying through, and he has a lot of people that send him garbage. And that means nothing about yours. I'm just saying he's already been, proved that he doesn't know what he's doing. And a lot of people have come up with that theory, and it was on a MUFON special where they went to Mexico. You may want to look it up. It was a great way to do a real investigation into somebody like Jaime Maussan. But that would be incredible technology, because those same people who think that you can look through someone's camera, TV, or anything else, they say that technology exists today with us. I find that to be true in some instances, but I don't know if that's what's happening here on your video.
Well, they're flying. These UFOs are going like light years away, so they have better technology.
But we don't know. We don't know for a fact. We're only going by folklore. We're going by.
But why does it look like the security light's so bad?
Because it might be another light, security light.
No, but it's 1,500 feet up.
It might not be.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's tracking across the screen. MUFON can see the jet moving. You're going to see this UFO moving. You're not going to see the lower left security light moving.
But I don't see that anywhere. Where do I see that?
The security light?
No, where do I see the movement? Because I don't see it on this video.
Oh, well, you go to Mock UFO, the ebook, and you'll see the grid chart page from MUFON. And they have a red line angled the jet.
Oh, man.
So they can see the jet moving.
Yeah, it's a reach, but, man, I'd have to look into it. Yeah, that's going to be difficult for me to... I see it. I see the chart. I'm showing everybody.
There you go.
Yeah, no, but...
Yeah, but see, they have it inbound just to match trajectory of a satellite, and they called it the International Space Station at one point. You can't get that with the Optimus.
It's a lot to buy into. It's really cool. I like the pictures. I've seen this type of story before with a guy named John Tosti. You may Tosti. I actually have his VHS tapes because he has very similar stuff. But he was doing the same thing. You know, it was an incredible abduction story for him and his family. And then all of a sudden one day somebody proved him wrong and we never heard from him again. I'm not saying that's going to happen to you. I'm just saying this is something I've seen before, and now I just remembered where. This is very interesting, but I don't know, man. I got to do a little more research, Mike. You know,
the CIA found a beam of light. They found it to be a light. Now, if you're looking at the security light, it's going to show up as steel because, like I said, the rigid siding is going to show up as steel. So it's refracting, which means it's changing direction as it moves through air, water, or glass. And it's also acting like a whirlpool. And you look at Mock UFO, the ebook, you'll see the laser is twisting the way, you would twist, wringing out a rag. It's that twist. That could well be a vortex that's creating a Stargate, a vortex. That is a powerful laser. Now, the military, the U.S. military said around the turn of 2017 that China had a laser so massive, so powerful, that it could possibly rip a hole in the space-time continuum and grant them time travel.
And
that's a true story.
What was that from?
I found it in Fox News. That was the U.S. military said that China had a laser so mega powerful that it could rip a hole in the space-time continuum. So, sometimes they think in time travel that the bending of light, and that could be the chatter, the nose, the light, dark light.
Right.
That could be bringing space to them. So they could literally bring space to them instead of going out to it.
Right. Yeah. No, I know that. Yeah, I've heard of that before.
Okay.
The thing is,
Just
like CERN, they said the same thing when they were trying to find how molecules work and how they can create, I guess, the God particle now. Yeah, they said as soon as they turn that thing on, that collider? I can't think of the name. I'm frozen. The Hadron
Collider. They said that
Collider.
it opened up a lot of portals or something?
They said it could have, but I haven't seen the evidence, and I don't know if we would. If a portal opened up, I'd like to know where. But it's always interesting that when people showcase Stargates they think they captured on camera or video, it always looks like the same one we see in the movie Stargate, which is all made up. So I don't know if that's what the portal would look like, but
right.
People say they think the spiral UFO, which was actually a rocket that was making circles in the sky, was a portal opening up, but it was just probably a rocket.
Well, I think that it's going so slow, 40 miles an hour, that it doesn't have to go, the speed of light. If it just hits a wormhole, show up on the other side of the universe.
Yeah, no, you're right. I know. If that theory is correct, and it's a strong possibility, it could be. But then again...
Well, the CIA said, don't worry, we don't have any stadium lights this big in America. Now, the CIA they wouldn't respond back if this was fake. They would not give you the time of day. They wouldn't waste their time with a phone call saying nope.
Was there any?
No, but they got back with all this data.
Did they give you actual paperwork with CIA letterhead and all that stuff on it?
No, but you know what? I mean, it's not that difficult, but I got to use better people like you and somebody else, better people to go and retrieve said documents. I can't because, I'm the guy with the street light.
They should have sent it to you. I would think if they did that for you, they would have sent you.
Well, they might have given it to the Air Force captain, and I wasn't privy enough or let in on it.
But they told you the information is what you're saying. So
no, they told the Air Force captain who relayed it to me.
Oh,
so
that's
they didn't tell me. They told him, which is telling me, but through Air Force captain.
Indirectly, yeah, right. That's right.
Yeah, indirectly. Okay, indirectly.
Were you going to say now we're getting somewhere?
I was in Florida.
You were going to say now we're getting somewhere. You were in Florida?
Yeah. I was in Florida, and this was all done in Wright Field, Dayton, Ohio. And I believe that's where Hangar 18 hangs out.
I think it is.
So you can believe the CIA's got a good computer up there now?
Yeah, not probably. I don't know. I think mine's probably better. Of course they would have technology.
The trigonometry scientist said, I have a supercomputer. He's like claiming, I got one better than the government.
Do you have any names of these people that we could, or you're not going to disclose that? Like
Well, sure I do.
Okay. Well, you don't have to tell us now, but you have the.
I don't have to tell you here, right?
No, yeah.
I could tell you an instant messenger or something if we want to pursue it out. I don't know if anybody really would. I don't know if anybody's interested.
Well, the only reason I ask, if you have names of a trigonometry scientist, maybe we could look him up and see his, credibility.
Yeah, if you want. His name is Chris Bowden, and he operates on Leonard Street in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at a place called Geek Group. And when I showed up, I said, I have a UFO. And he shook my hand. He said, Mike, if you got a UFO, you're going to get $1 million, because there's a guy that passed away, and he left us $1 million. And anybody who brings us empirical data, that's data gotten through the scientific method, in which you can take to an independent source and it will show up as the same, and that would be the 1,500-foot thing. That's empirical data. He said, it's yours. If you have Sasquatch, Loch Ness, UFO. And they instantly had his people grab cameras. They started filming me. He started questioning me, like, how long is this room? I said, 21 feet. He said, it's exactly 21 feet. So he took my SIM chip. We spent hours there, and he got all the data. He went out to the point, did all these trigonometry scientific long protracted expeditions, and then he came back and said it's a rocket drone. But he also had a lot of nice awning in his factory yard, and all the ductwork was ripped out like a couple months after this. And but no, he's kicked out of Kalamazoo, the neighboring county. He's not allowed in. I don't know. He's just not allowed. But yeah, you can ask Chris Bowden, because Chris won't talk to me. He asked for the images, and as I sent them, because I wasn't familiar with Gmail, I sent them kind of one by one. He kind of got upset and called me a bad name and never spoke to me again. He's pretty shady at that rate. But yeah, you're welcome to ask him.
I might ask
Chris Bowden.
Yeah.
Like Bowden well. Mm-hmm.
Like B-O-D-E-N?
B-O-D-E-N, I believe.
And what was the street?
Yeah, he had a lot of pride,
You said Geek Street?
No, it's on Leonard Street.
Oh, Leonard.
And it's called Geek Group.
Oh, that's what it is.
Kind of like Geek Squad.
Right.
Geek Group.
Geek Group. It almost sounds like you're saying Geek Group. It's somebody that makes me laugh. Yeah. I know a guy named with that last name. That's what's funny to me.
You just size up all those detail points. Leonard, Grand Rapids, Chris Bowden, Geek Group.
Well, like I said before, because we're almost out of time. I mean, you have a lot of evidence for something that I don't know. I don't think we're looking at a UFO, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to look into it more. Because we're talking about a mock UFO that you think is making this light, the security light, look like the UFO. And then I know you're going to jump to the aliens and the light glinting off their eyes and all that. And I say it's probably pareidolia, but like I said, I'll have to look into it. I don't know, man. There's too much. I don't understand. Now, I have UFO videos myself that would blow this out of the water, blow it away. And I just haven't had the luck that you have, I guess, of having some CIA guy look at it and a trigonometry scientist. I never even knew there were scientists that are into trigonometry. That's kind of cool, I guess. How did you meet him?
Yeah. I was at the bicycle repair shop across the street, and I noticed Geek Group, and I'm like, I better ask him, because I was pretty much trying to ask everybody, colleges and what else. I said, might as well ask him and see what he can do. And it was right there where he got all this data. But you're going to find that laser is, I call it laser, it is refracting, and it is acting like a whirlpool. So you're not going to find a street light or a security light acting like a whirlpool that's refracting 1,500 feet up, and is a light. It is not wood or steel. It's not the pole. That's not a tree. It is a light. And all you got to do is put science on it, and you'll see.
And
you'll see.
Well, you could make it seem that way, but here's the thing: you have this building. I still don't see anything in the background either, because we don't know how far away it is. If it's above the building, that's the thing. There's a couple of things actually that are really hard to accept.
Chris Bowden said that well, see, this is where it's a UFO, because I caught him with this. He said the beam of light, he said it is curving around something. He said that's what the CIA means by refracting. So see, he's already admitting something here. He said it's curving around an area of black that is blacker than any black they could find on the screen. And he said it's curving around a truck or a small house. And
where?
Yeah.
Where? Did you have a place on the video I can go to see that curve? You're not talking about at the end when you move your phone away, are you?
You know what I think? I think that beam of light is lighting up the roof. That's why the roof is kind of bronzy color.
But that's
so
a security camera.
Curving.
That's a security camera, though.
No, the security light.
I'm sorry,
is on the
security
left side.
light. I keep saying camera because we're talking about cameras. So that's a light, but that's a light. That's a security light. That's not the UFO.
And the UFO is causing a curving with its beam, Chris said, around something that looked like a truck or a small building. I think he's talking about the storage unit.
Hold on. Let me pull it up.
But now he's talking about something at 10:03 at night. But why is he talking about the rocket drone that me and the cops saw at like 11 at night? You see, he's got a couple good stories. He's really got people twisting in the wind with that one.
Are you talking about the only time I see any curving is at the end when you move your phone and create this arch?
Well, it's subtle. You'll look in mock UFO, and you'll see the beam is actually slightly curving. I mean, it's twisting so much that it's actually arcing. There's a lot of things you're not going to see by the Swift video.
Yeah,
but
I guess
if you look at mock UFO, you'll catch it.
Anything else coming up for you in the future? Are you going to any, UFO conventions? Anybody else know about this that you've been talking to?
Oh yeah, I have some big names people. I've got it all scheduled. Just even today. Yeah, well, I'll mention something. But I'm looking at the MUFON report, which should be due, let's call it a month from now. They got it all wrong. They got the trajectory the opposite. They called that a satellite. It was a jet. They weren't even focusing on my UFO and called it a street light. I mean, if they can see a football-sized FAA light on a jet, why can't they see something the size of a city block in the lower right? And I think the answer is they're always looking for like the smallest thing, the most obscure, blurriest, out of focus thing. Yeah, they got a lot wrong, and they're ready to apologize and give this another run.
Well, I wouldn't apologize because I think I'm right. I think the story's great. I think that you have a reflection of a light from a security light that's glinting.
But it's moving.
I don't see it. But MUFON can track the jet moving. And now they're going to look at the UFO, and now they're going to see that is moving. So that's a street light doesn't move. I'll have to do my own research to see if I can find that because that's what we tell everybody. Do your own research, come to your own conclusions. Don't believe anybody, but we'll let people explain their stories, tell about it. It's a great story, Mike. It's just there's a lot of stuff that. I see what you're talking about. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Why do you sound upset?
That means it's a UFO. You have too many
No,
questions.
it doesn't. It doesn't.
It's a UFO.
It doesn't.
To me, it does, because you should be able to go way long ago. This is a security light. I'm out of here. But because it's leaving you with so many unanswered questions, that's the nature of aliens. They're
Mike,
very sharp.
I was going to not have you on. Why do you think I didn't have you on when you first asked? Because I didn't know anything at the time, and then when I saw the video, I said, that's just a light. I'm not buying it because everything in the video. Well, you have to understand where we're coming from and myself. We don't have all the data that you supposedly got in your mock UFO. The book.
Read mock UFO. Comprehend mock UFO.
You
It's
send
all
it to
in
me
there.
and I'll
If there's
read
something
it.
missing, let me know.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll read it. And this glinting off of the building, I can't buy that being the UFO creating that from itself onto there. I just don't.
Do you want to explain yourself better? What you talking about? The security light on the left side?
The security light on the left side, because isn't
That you can't buy what?
Because I thought that's what you were just saying before, that the UFO up to the top right is creating its own image down here off of the light.
No, they're both in the same frame. I'm saying the UFO prior to all this was probably constructed to look like a still photograph of a security light on a steel building.
Yeah. Even that that makes it worse. But I'll have to, you said we'll have to look into it. But,
right.
I've been doing this, Mike, for 15, 17 years, whatever it is. And I've seen everything. And I can't say one way or the other 100%. But my gut tells me that there's a lot of pareidolia going on, a lot of things that you could make sense if you break it down into 66,000 frames, and you'll find evidence if you want to. Now, that's not me saying, and you can't say it, but Rich, you just said, that's evidence. If you see it, it's got to be real. No, that doesn't mean it's real. It means it looks like something that I find very hard to believe. But it's because, you give us only 23 seconds, and I showed I showed everybody the Kindle, the images you put up on Amazon here. Yeah. Very, very good of you to do, by the way. A lot of people wouldn't even give 2 images.
No.
And a lot of this stuff,
keep in mind,
I've done this before.
Keep in mind, it's 30 feet wide. The beam is 30 feet wide as it leaves the screen. So you're not going to get a security light giving that 30-foot wide light starting at 8 feet. I mean, you have to have the light at 8 feet itself to make it 8 feet. So that's a giant light if it's like that. But this is just a beam of light coming out of a UFO. And so the Mercury light was the size of a medicine ball, but then they took that down in 2015, and they put up like some Tesla bulb, and this thing is only like, a foot by half a foot big now. That's what's in the 2016 photographs. So what you're looking at as a security light in 2016 is different from the 2014 security light by that much of a size difference. But, yeah, you got to remember that all the data the CIA got, you're going to get more. And then you can conclude that that's not a security light refracting, because a security light isn't going to refract, and it's not going to act like a whirlpool. It's not going to be 1,500 feet up. The CIA is confident it's not even a stadium light. So don't worry, was what they had said. Not a stadium light. We don't have any that big in America.
Now, MUFON, with all the people they have across the country, I think there's like 4,000 members or something. It's a lot of people in all the states. They should get somebody out there. Did anybody go there from MUFON or no?
Well, they kind of had it as a street light and a story. They're not gonna go pursue a street light. Yeah. No, I would say 0. But if they did, they didn't tell me.
When I get my videos loaded up, because I'm now transferring the data onto my computer, I'm going to send you a few of my streetlight videos that I did as a test, just to show you very similar features, okay? It doesn't mean that yours is. I'm not saying it, but
yes,
it's very similar. And that's probably why MUFON said, nah, we've seen this one before. But, maybe it's their loss. Could be.
Well, they're checking it out again.
Good.
It's kind of double jeopardy. I'm going to get a second ruling. It's official. It's going to be law. It's a deposition.
MUFON's been wrong before, my friend. They've been wrong many times.
Yeah, well, now they're going to bounce off the data that I've given them from CIA and
right.
all the, images from mock UFO. They have all that, and plus they didn't really give it a good look. They wrote it off as a street light. They looked 10 times, and they said they can't see anything, but yet they said they could see the street light, calling it a UFO. Kind of a little conflicted, but they're gonna have to resolve it, and I think they will. I think that's just fine.
And the only reason myself and MUFON would do that is because there's a lot of other videos out there that are a lot more interesting than this. And unless you break this down like you're saying you did, who knows, man? This could be, cracking open something that we're not aware of, or it's just a light.
Yeah, I
security
appreciate how it's got everybody kind of spun around, twisted in the wind, because once MUFON clears the air, well, it's going to make sense, and won't that be nice?
But another thing is, a lot of people feel, I'm going to share this with the world and not charge $1.99. Why did you decide to charge people for the information?
Well, I've thrown it together, and if people are interested, they'll buy it. And if they're not interested, they won't buy it.
Yeah, so that's questionable for me. I mean, that tells me...
That's kind of my gauge to know if somebody's interested in this or not. So you think you can... you think you would just put that out for free or something?
Every one of my videos, good, bad, or indifferent, have all been free. I've never made $1.
Yeah, the video is free on YouTube. It's been there free on YouTube. My information, I chose to make into an ebook. I mean, just like anybody would make a book. They would sell it, Well, see, I have the MUFON deposition rolling in, and I have people working with me on another book where I'll include deposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you'll charge $10.99 and hopefully make more
Who
money.
knows? I mean, who knows? Won't you want to know what the deposition report is?
I think you should show the world for free and not have to charge anybody, because that to me shows there's an ulterior motive.
I've been showing the alien for free on Facebook for a long time, and the UFO for free, and they just call it a street light.
But why?
I
don't see why you have to charge. I mean, it's a very small amount of money. I get it. But I guess if I was you, I would hope 1,000 people would get it. This way you can make $2,000.
It might have. I put it out. I put this out on Facebook. Even the alien, I put out the alien and the bird a lot. But they make jokes and they say it looks like Zelda or a computer-generated video game.
Yeah, it does.
It's like, well, let me get serious. Let me get serious with you.
That's right.
Because they're not looking at it when I give it to them for free.
No, they will. You'll get more people looking at it, because I didn't buy it.
Right, and you got it for free. Now you paid for it, but now you're getting it.
I didn't get it for free. I mean, I got it for free, but I didn't get the whole book.
Free on Messenger a lot.
No, you didn't send me anything.
Are you serious?
Yeah, you didn't send me anything.
You should look.
I promise I was looking for it.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Yeah, I'm saying everybody I can think of.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, I've been waiting for you to send me stuff. Deep. Maybe it's here, and oh my God, let me check. That would really suck.
Yeah. I was a little. I mean, of course I would show you. You're the UFO researcher here. Of course I would let you in on seeing the alien, the bird, the laser, the UFO.
Oh, I didn't.
What?
Oh no, I was just saying. Oh yeah, I was agreeing with you.
Yeah, of course. I mean, geez, I was showing these images to people who couldn't even put science on it. I wouldn't leave you out of the loop.
Hold on a second. I'm having a hard time with this here.
So, the UFO is valid. It is being checked out, and MUFON is going to take another bite at the cherry, so to speak, and they're going to come back that it is UFO. They're going to have the measurements, the data, just as simply as CIA or the trigonometry scientists or anybody could come up with. Anybody with a decent supercomputer could come up with. MUFON's going to do their homework. They're going to do spectacular. They're not going to fail. They're not going to find it as a street light. We're early in this. This is early January. By February of 2019, Okay, anybody calling a street light won't know that there's MUFON data that says there's no way this is a street light.
So the only picture you sent me was the picture of the bird. I don't have any links, nothing else, nothing. I just went through it twice.
The bird, well, you had the ebook, for example, right?
No, I don't. I asked,
well, didn't you say there was an alien standing there, a figure?
I was going off the cover of your book. You know, the information you provided.
Did I send that
for
to
free.
you?
No, I got it off the Kindle.
Well, I sent you the bird image with writing on it that I made that said my personal page, Starship UFOs, has the alien. So if you go there, you're going to see all of the images that I could have put up there. Alien, bird, laser, UFO. You saw that, right?
No, because to be honest,
wow.
I don't use my monitor. When I go online and look at a lot of stuff, I am working a lot, so I use my phone. So it was probably too small for me to see. I had to enlarge it on the 50-inch monitor to see it. It's so small in the messenger. But now I see. But here it says Starship UFOs has the alien.
Yeah, and that's the bird. Well, yeah, but see, if you're not really interested, I'm not gonna pepper you with more images. And of course, you weren't. You thought maybe this was a street light, and you didn't want to pursue it. I could almost tell things like this, but I tried my best. I'll send you better now.
Yeah, kind of the same way.
I'll send you better.
Yeah, if you could, I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, but it's all available in Mock UFO, the ebook. I should have sent you that thing easily.
Well, we'll talk. But you know what? It was
all there.
Yeah, this was a real cool story, man. I'm glad you. And I have to give you credit. I didn't mean. I'm not trying to cut you down. I'm just looking at the evidence that I have. So
yeah,
I appreciate you hanging in there. So
no problem.
You have anything else coming up next? Any other shows you're going on, or nothing yet?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I have some shows, but I don't know if they want me to discuss them at this point. But these are big people, big players, only in the name of numbers and the name of recognition.
Yeah.
But I was so glad to be on this show. Of course, I'm grateful. I really think that this is a good start for everything. So really, the credit really goes to you for just helping advance this whole agenda a little bit more.
We have to look at things with a skeptical eye. If we don't, then it's not really research. But I have an open mind, Mike. I'm going to look into it a little more. I'm going to see what I can find with doing my own research. It may not be in a week, but give me a little bit, and I'll get it. I'll get to it. So I want to thank you, brother. You were good.
All right.
Good man. Thanks for coming on, and I'll keep in touch. You too. Okay. Send me something else.
I will.
All
and
right.
anything worth doing is worth doing well. So take your time.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Great having you on.
All right.
Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you down the road.
All right, Mike. Take care. So that was Mike Brown, and that's the story, and he's sticking to it. I don't know. I think I said everything I could say. I couldn't think of anything else. I was looking in the chat room, seeing what you guys were saying, seeing if there's anything I could ask. I was trying to go from that. This was a tough one because there's so much from a 23-second video, 20 seconds if you don't add the first 4 seconds of nothing. But nonetheless, a lot of this stuff is very familiar to me. Like I was saying, this guy, John Tosti, and I'll eventually post it on GoofOn Network, had very similar stuff and claims, and nobody bought into it, man. The guy was trying to sell a book, and he went to I think he was in a couple of MUFON conventions one year in 2005, and then he fell off the planet. There was a couple of people who went after him, and because his claim was his whole family. With Mike, it's just Mike. I don't know how lucky he could be to get the brain power that he did to look at this. And he did drop the name of the trigonometry scientist. God, how do you get that job? I guess you got to go to school for a while. Man alive. Ufology. There you go, Dave. I did that for you. Ufology is it's got its mixed bag, man. Like, I see now, if you want to look at this, I think I see what he was talking about. I just realized it. This up here is the alien face. I think this is what he's talking about. It is interesting. And I've talked about this before. And I just remembered it. And I wish Mike, I hope he's listening. I have captured in dark patches of video at night alien faces of different species, like different sizes, shapes, ages. I've talked about it before. Aliens with their mouths moving, their eyes opening. Some of them have hair, and some of them are little, and some are fat, and some are tall, skinny. And here it is. But this is glinting. It's off of a light. This is just too. I don't know, man. I think it's a lot of pareidolia. I don't know how much clearer I could have been. I think that's what it is. You break it down each pixel at 66,000 screenshots, which literally is every frame in the video. You're gonna find stuff. Now, I admit, some of this stuff, it does look kind of cool, and there is a chance I could be wrong. But this bird looks like is it Zelda? That's the exact same bird. That's the bird. Is it not? Oh, we'll have Mike back on, Dave. We'll have him on when we get the updated report from MUFON. Definitely have Mike back on. He was a good sport. Nice guy. But we got to ask some harder questions. I don't know if I did. I feel bad, believe it or not, with Mike that I had to ask these questions because he's such a nice guy. There were some undertones in there of him just, right. He didn't want to hear what I had to say. I get it. He's heard it before. I get that. But if you're hearing it once and you've heard it before, that means there's something fishy about the evidence. Because I have the perfect example of that in my own videos. Some videos, people look at it and they go, bag. All right. Some videos the same people will say, holy crap, that I don't know what it is. That's a UFO. And when they say that and nobody says bag, balloon, and you haven't heard the same negative comments, then I think you might be onto something. High 8. Yeah, he got this with a camera phone, a flip phone. I don't know, man. Man. Well, I hope I did justice and made the point. I sincerely feel that this is a lot of concoction. Mike, if you're listening, not hiding it. I said it before. This is glinting off of a building, a security light. You cannot say that's a UFO. You can't say it is because it doesn't make sense. The other object that you said was moving, I don't know how anybody can get movement in this video without having a background to go off of. I don't get it. Now, I will spend a little time trying to analyze it, but I got to be honest with you. I pretty much made up my mind too. Let me show you this a couple more times and you tell me. But I told Mike I'll look into it, and I am. I'm going to look up that guy, Chris Bowden. Wait a second. See what I mean? How do we know that's moving? Check it out from the beginning. Guys, did you hear another voice? No, I guess not. I think I heard another voice. Hold on. No. Here's something weird I just noticed. Hold on, let me get there. I knew that was gonna freaking happen. Hold on. There's something here. Damn it! Here, you see this? There's another little light that down here. Forget it. I can't get there. Hold on, I can do this. There it is. I see what he's saying about the curve now. Maybe this is it. I think it's another light. It's not moving. But I think there was an airplane blinking back here. I think I saw the blink. Let me start it over. Let me look. It would be right here. I don't know. I thought I saw a blinking light. How do you tell something is moving from this? There's no way you can, man. There's nothing. That's it. There's nothing in the background. Mike, you're killing me. I don't buy it, man. It's very tough. This video is too short. See this? He's saying this is like this and this UFO mocking a UFO. Do you understand now? Mocking. Why he said mocking? Because it's making believe down here that the lamp is a UFO, or the UFO is making believe it looks like the lamp, I should say. The light, security light. See, I don't believe in that. You know how you hear that a lot? Oh, it's faking. It's faking it looks like an airplane. That's not an airplane. It's a UFO looking like an airplane. Why would a UFO have to do that? It wouldn't have to. So we can be in plain sight. Please, come on. UFOs are not cloaking themselves to look like another object. There's no evidence of that anywhere. A lot of the things he was talking about, he didn't get into Anunnaki a lot. Didn't get into the Nibiru like he did with Dave. Didn't get into that stuff, which was good because it was a different interview altogether pretty much. But I was running out of time. I should have, maybe when he comes on again. It's up to you guys. I already know. I could already read what you guys are saying. This was tough. I'm sweating. Well, anyway, that was Mike Brown. If you are interested, go here. Go to Amazon. You can get, it's called Mock UFO for $1.99. You can buy with one click the Mock UFO Kindle edition by Michael Gerard Brown. Yeah. It's weird how they brought the building out and were able to, like this stuff here. Pretty cool that this was finally something I was able to see. But if that's a security light, where's the UFO in this picture, right? Why does this picture look so much different than the other one we saw, than the video? Because shouldn't there be a UFO up here? I forgot to ask that too. Because if this is the light, I thought the UFO was right about here. Because look at the video. They're not that far apart. They're real close together, as a matter of fact. So you want to know now what I just figured out? It's not a UFO. It's just another light. Unless it's a totally different light, that cannot be this. It can't be. It can't be. I don't know, man. I'll look into it. Anyway, that was fun. So, did you just say we need Mike to sort these claims out? My goodness. That was fun. I actually was interested, and then I saw these pictures and got more interested, but then I realized what was happening. A lot of pareidolia. You have 66,000 frames, screenshots. You can find anything in a pixel. You really can. I mean, do I have to prove it to you? I think you know you can do that, right? It gets real grainy when you enlarge a pixel. He's got the documentation here, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Kent County Sheriff's Office. I don't know what that is. General Assistance. I don't know what that says. We'll have to open that up and look at it later. Certificate of registration. He actually got a copyright. Some more. Let me see what this is. Let me look at this. The following is a review of the simplest possibilities that could be the stimulus for this event. Satellite, ISS. This is a common occurrence happening when sides are clear and light pollution levels are low. The best opportunity for viewing satellites is during the hours after sunset when the sunlight reflects off the surface of the solar panels, which are called class, Bueller? Anybody know? What are they called? What kind of satellites? What are they called? They're the solar panels that open up on these UFOs. What are they called? I can't remember. I really can't. And I caught 1,100 of them. What are they? Wow, I've never had a brain freeze on this. Next thing I know, the CIA is putting a beam on me so I can't think straight. No, not a iridium flare. Jesus, Mary, and H on a popsicle stick. Yeah, iridium flare satellite. Thank you, Dark Hour. The ISS in particular is the source of many sightings as it is much bigger than Venus, crossing the entire viewing sector in 4 to 7 minutes, and is a constant light source with no blinking lights and passes by in a different trajectories every hour and a half. Also, a new type satellite has been launched exhibiting a bright blinking LED. Natural phenomenon it could be, or man-made object. Or, here it says, Dear Mike, Dear Mr. Brown, this is the opinion summary from MUFON. Here it says, here is my case opinion summary. Hoax, keystroke. Natural phenomena or man-made object. The following is a review of the simplest possibilities that could be the stimulus for the event. Satellites, ISS, is the common occurrence happening. Okay, we read that. Conclusion. Using Occam's rule. Oh, that's what I said. Occam's razor. Occam's rule that the simplest of two or more competing theories is preferable, and that the explanation for the unknown phenomena should be first attempted in terms of what is already known. Entities must not be multiplied beyond necessity. The visual characteristics, flight path, inclination, travel speed, and object sight do not violate the premise this event was stimulated by the ISS, but the account seems to be embellished and video proof was untruthful, and no object or pursuit aircraft is visible on video. This is from MUFON. They're saying they don't see the ship. They don't see, a plane or what Mike is saying he saw. This is amazing. It's very damning. The witness's event time provided was 7 minutes after sunset, which does not match video timing of well after sunset. Oh, we didn't get that. He said to me it was at 10:03. But there's a timestamp which is removed, or which is probably within the video camera, which he doesn't provide. That was the other thing. He doesn't provide a timestamp on the video. You have to have a timestamp, in my opinion, to be credible. And if you have a picture, it ain't really happening. It didn't happen if you only have pictures. That was for Dave. Witness provided snapshots with analysis, JPEGs along with K63339, but all are of the street lamp, they call it a street lamp, in the lower right corner of video. In the lower right corner? Lower left? Well, anyway. Well, that's that. I think we can conclude to say that this one, I would have to say, does not fall under the, I would have to say 100% that it's a UFO. A lot of the videos that people have. Now, when we had Tessa on, she had those snapshots. I don't know what that is yet. Those were kind of cool. Very strange. But I think and I've seen that shape before from her videos. I have it on mine. So as soon as I find it, I don't know where it is, but I know I've seen that shape many times on Tessa's too. So there's probably a mundane explanation. I hope not. I hope Tessa's, I hope Mike's, I hope we do get some real valid looking stuff that we don't have to put aside and forget about, man. I want this to be real. Very tough. Very tough. You know, that's true. Now, if I have the guy on again, am I supporting him? We'll have to find out. I don't know. I'm going to do a little more research and find out. But what a great show. I want to thank everybody for showing up. If you want a little more information on things, you can go to Amazon and look up Mock UFO, the Kindle edition. It's only $1.99. He gives you a lot of information on what he thinks is a real UFO event, and that is still up in the air. I, for one, think we've got a lot of pareidolia, a lot of ulterior motives. No reason to charge $1.99. I mean, you might as well make it free. Why charge $2? My thought process would be, well, if I get 100 people, I made $200. But if I get 1,000, now we're talking thousands of dollars. I think that's the goal. The goal is to get 10,000 people to buy it. It ain't going to happen. Even if you have the best video on the planet, it ain't going to get that many purchases. Thousands. It won't happen. But we'll be back Thursday. Keep your eyes open, though, because during the week I may be back and do a live. Well, I am. I'm going to do some 15-minute videos, maybe just one a week on top of the 2 shows, maybe 2 of those a week, because I want to get a little bit of clickbait going, you know, get people to find us here. And I'm going to cheat like everybody else does to get more viewers and people coming here on Sunday and Thursday night. I'm going to cheat too. Why can't I? Why can't I make thousands of dollars? Nothing wrong with that. As long as you're doing, you know, as long as I'm not being sold out to the man or bought out. I can't even think right now. My brain is mush. Mush. My IQ has dropped 20 points. Don't ask me why. All right, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Let me do this for you because you're such a great crowd. You're such a great audience. God, you guys are great, great chat room. Great people. A lot of great crowd tonight coming in, listening to Mike Brown. Fun, good time. Great time. The guy gave a good story, got a lot of stuff to talk about. I don't understand where he gets all this stuff, but he found it somehow. A little pareidolia, baby. Maybe it was the moon. Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was real. Maybe it was. We'll never know. But God golly, I tell you, that was a great time. I'm glad everybody's here tonight. Enjoyed the show. I know I did. So I'm going to let you guys go. Have a great night. I'm Rich Giordano, screaming and shouting for reality, man. Hope you guys enjoy everything. Have a great week. We'll see you Thursday. I hate that song. I hate that one. Have a good night, everybody. Goof On Radio. Join Goof On Network at goofon.net. It's free. Be a part of the next big thing. Later, guys. Had a lot of fun. I gotta tell you, my heart rate was going all night. A lot of fun tonight. Great time, Goof On Radio. See you guys on Facebook. Alright, I'll shut up. Why am I talking that way? It's Friday tomorrow. I'll see you Sunday. Get out of here. I'm still here. What am I doing? Keep your eyes open. Maybe tomorrow night. Yeah, Sunday. We'll be back Sunday. I got the days mixed up, man. I thought today was Sunday. I did. I'm all mush.